Good morning. Thank you for joining me on The Weather Now this morning. Time now 11:03. Couple things we are talking about, breaking down in greater detail even than we can on TV here right now. That's going to be today's forecast. Of course, current temperatures behind me, upper 70s, lower 80s, couple of spots here right along the beaches, upper 80s in a few spots inland. So, a little bit of a range in temperatures. We're going to track that warm up hour by hour right here. Also, with the warm up comes a chance of a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. And we are going to talk about your Labor Day weekend and the tropics, and beginning to get a little bit busy in the tropics, and get right to that update here just a moment. Want to let you know, though, right now it is quiet. Low country coastal empire. We're not seeing any rain develop. That will change a little bit this afternoon. A few splash and dash showers, thunderstorms popping up, but not going to be widespread rain. Going to get to today's forecast here in greater detail just a moment. Scrolling down through my weather computer now, I want to give you a tropical update. And again, this was just kind of updated within the past 10-15 minutes from the National Hurricane Center. We now have potential tropical cyclone number 6. This is, I know it may seem complicated. We don't make the rules, but we do supply the information as it comes in. It was Invest 90L. They're investing more resources, more technology into tracking it. Now they've gone ahead and said, okay, this is so likely that it's going to develop. We're going to go ahead and give it a forecast. So they've issued a cone of uncertainty for it. They're watching it, and particularly in this case, why they've gone ahead and taken this step is not only is it almost certain to develop, but also it's going to be impacting land here over the next, or within the next 48 hours. So because it's going to impact land in a relatively short amount of time, and they're almost certain it's going to develop, formally and become a depression, then a storm, then a hurricane, they've gone ahead and issued that forecast early. This is something they began doing a couple seasons ago. It does help improve the messaging to some extent, but I can understand if some may be confused at home. So that's why it's called right now a potential tropical cyclone, the 6th one, and likely will be upgraded later today, tonight, or early tomorrow to Tropical Storm Florence, and then forecast to head out, kind of cruise out here west-northwest and northwestward movement-wise into the central Atlantic as at least Category 1 hurricane, east-northeast to Puerto Rico there by about 1,000 or so, maybe a little more miles by Tuesday morning, and forecast to stay in the central Atlantic. So this, regardless of strength, I know you see a hurricane, you get a little worried, but forecast to remain a fish storm, and that looks, in all likelihood, it's going to remain over open water, not going to impact any major land masses. It looks like we have quite a few questions, comments coming in, so getting right to those. Taisha, thank you for watching. Sharon, thank you for watching. Karen, hello to you. And Danielle, hello. Hey, Joe Brinkley, Robbie, Kara, Kiana, waving back at you. Lisa, hello. Let's see. Karen, why have we seen so many hurricanes each year as opposed to many years ago? It seems as though we have it seems as though to have increased to being yearly hitting us. It's just a pattern. These things are kind of cyclical as far as why we here in the coastal empire and low country have been impacted by so many. And again, this one is not going to. Let's keep that in mind. It's just the pattern that we've been in. We happen to have been in a bit of an unlucky streak. We've had a couple of busy hurricane seasons, and the trough and ridge alignment has been such that they tend to have been steered in the direction of the southeastern United States. Antoine, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Hello to you. Hey, Barbara. Hello, Angela. Hey, Kathy. Robin says she blames her husband. Good morning, Charita. Thank you for watching. So again, potential tropical cyclone 6. It will become Florence. But not forecast to impact the United States, and not forecast to impact the Georgia Coastal Empire or South Carolina Low Country. And the reason why we have had so many impacts here locally, 2016, 2017, is simply, I don't want to say by an unlucky streak, but just the active seasons and the alignment of the steering currents. What pushes these things has been such that we have been kind of in an unlucky area. A bit of a different, toss of the coin this year. So again, this is not expected to impact us Another thing we are watching is actually here in the north and the northeastern Caribbean, kind of a stretched out area of storminess impacting the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the Lesser Antilles, and now the Greater Antilles. Weak area of low pressure, and it is not looking very organized. Moving off to the north, kind of west-northwest, drawing this out for you. And let me change the arrow color here so you can see this on your TV screen or on your device's screen, wherever you're watching this, whatever you're watching this on. So you can kind of see that movement, moving off to the west-northwest, and we're going to be watching it once it gets here. That's late this weekend, early next week. We're going to be watching the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, the Bahamas, the northern, extreme northern Caribbean. Somewhere in this vicinity, the remnants of this tropical disturbance, just showers and thunderstorms, will be sitting over here, and conditions there more favorable for tropical development. So it's something we're going to be paying attention to. Now, where it goes from there, simply we cannot tell you, and exactly what it becomes, we don't know at this point. But what I can tell you is that we have a big old ridge of high pressure that is sinking air, and the steering currents around that ridge of high pressure will want to pull this into the Gulf of Mexico. So if I was on the Gulf of Mexico, I would be watching a little bit more, attentively than I would be Georgia Coastal Empire and Low Country. It deserves our attention. Of course, we're watching it for you already, and we'll pass along updates as they come in. But whatever this becomes, or whatever it doesn't become, fingers crossed, it's going to be moving generally into the Gulf of Mexico, possibly a central or western Gulf Coast impact. So that's what we're watching a little bit closer to home. Again, future Florence, right now, what we're calling potential tropical cyclone 6, right here off the coast of Africa, way out here. That is going to be a fish storm. But both of these systems kind of implying and signaling that we're heading into a more active period, heading deeper into September. Of course, no surprise. It's the climatological and the historical peak of hurricane season, and we'll probably see a little bit more activity. Joanne says, I came in late, glad only tropical. You're very welcome. Karen Curtis says, no, I might have missed something. Let's see. Maybe I missed. Maybe I missed something. Denise, does anyone else out there feel like they can tell the difference from tropical rain and our typical afternoon showers? The duration of the rain may be more intense with tropical stuff, but remember, it's all kind of similar here. It's all tropical moisture, but tropical moisture, regardless of what's causing the rain, the area of low pressure, it's similar to the air mass that occasionally sweeps in with the tropical waves out of the southwestern Atlantic when we have our what we call precipitable water values that are sky high above 2. And I know that's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but when it's above 2, which it has been for the past, periodically for the past few weeks, that rain is intense, it is heavy, and to an extent it's tropical-like moisture. So in some ways it is similar out there. Michelle, hello to you. Nothing much, Jeff, just out here giving a forecast, wishing you the best. And Joanne, yeah, not expecting any, when we say tropical, again, that means, Brenda, nothing's coming to us. We need to remember, always remember, no one year has any bearing on the future. So we could have 5 Category 5 hurricanes hit the United States, God forbid, one hurricane season. The very next hurricane season doesn't mean the next thing that forms out here is going to hit you. So I know it's difficult, but you just have to remember that each year is different, each system is different, each weather pattern that steers these suckers is different. So always pay attention, and I think we've learned some lessons over the past couple of hurricane seasons, but there is still nothing to be worried about here locally. But we should always be prepared at the beginning of hurricane season and remain prepared through hurricane season, and always check in with the forecast so we know what's up, what's going on, so that at the very least, the process of preparation is a little bit more convenient for you, your family, your loved ones, your kiddos, whoever. Terry says, tuning in a little late. Any cooler temps coming soon? People are more excited about the cooler air than tropical update, it appears. And no, it is August. We're talking upper 80s, lower 90s, the entirety of the 7-day forecast. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the folks asking about the long holiday weekend too. So I'm going to go back to today. I promise if you have more specific questions. Melissa asking about this weekend. Thank you, Ted. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that extended forecast out for you. And as soon as the computer loads up over here, it'll play itself out. There we go. So today we have a 30% chance of rain. Savannah Metro, about a 20% chance. Waynesboro, Manuel County, over to Screven County, Sylvania, and then into the low country. 30% around the I-16 corridor, and then you get south of the Altamaha today. If you're watching Jessup, Odom, Screven, Alma, Bacon County, Appling County, Baxley, Coffee, Jeff Davis counties, Glenn County, southern communities, your rain chance is a little higher. That's why it says wetter southwest there on the 7-day. Scattered stuff this afternoon, early this evening, but still not a complete washout. It's dry down there now, and you have a little while before a few of these storms pop up. A little more isolated on your Friday. Rain chances start to increase, but still isolated to widely scattered, not washout stuff. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, some of that moisture tries to sneak in from the southwestern Atlantic. We're going to increase the rain chances just a skosh. Scattered rain, hit or miss, not all day, that's for sure, Monday, Tuesday. And then isolated storms starting to dry out and heat back up again next Wednesday. The coolest we get is around 90. Beaches mid to upper 80s, of course. These are inland forecast temperatures. Lower 90s, upper 80s, about the same as it has been for many, many weeks now. Connie, Ogeechee River at 204. Let's scrolling back through just in case I missed something. It doesn't look like I did. I cannot be that specific as far as if you see rain or not. You have a chance. The chance is isolated, and I don't think today's the kind of rain that's going to really cancel or ruin your day, your plans. Out of shot here, but I'm looking out at the Hilton Head Island camera. It's stunning outside now, so plenty of dry time. Not a bad day, but there is an isolated rain chance, Connie, for you this afternoon and this evening. Thank you for watching, Karen. Mike, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you for watching, Misty. Latasha says, I pray that God continue to cover us from the storms. Of course, me as well. And I think that's kind of what you just have to do every hurricane season. If you're a prayerful person, pray, but also prepare for the chance you could be impacted. And, you never know. And I know it sounds crazy, and people may disagree vehemently with me, but these things do serve a purpose, believe it or not. Hurricanes, tropical storms, I know it may seem crazy, but they serve a very scientific and natural purpose on planet Earth. We just have to do our best to plan, prepare, and protect ourselves against these nasty storms from time to time. Carrie, a little cooler than last two. I'll take the 80s. Let's hope it is in the 80s. Greater rain chances, more moisture. There is a plus side. Cooler temperatures, upper 80s. We'll take it, but still, only a couple of degrees, and it may actually end up being closer to 90 Monday, Tuesday, but expecting a little more cloud cover, so we brought temperatures down just a little bit. Joanne says, beautiful in Bluffton. You're very welcome for the reports. Glad you all are able to watch. Terry, you have a great day yourself. Herman, thank you for watching. You can watch our station, WALB, owned by Raycom Media. We have a lot of the same kind of forecast styles and graphics there, so if you're watching in Albany, you can feel free to tune on in to WALB. Thank you for watching us, though, of course. So, Melissa, any rain this weekend for Long County? Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be isolated to scatter. This is really the afternoon stuff, late morning, lunchtime, those clouds growing, maybe a few isolated showers, and then primarily afternoon, early evening, and the rain chance increases Monday, Tuesday a little bit, not a washout, but a little bit more rain on radar. So if you open up the weather app, any of these afternoons, Saturday, Sunday, Monday afternoon, you probably notice a little more of the greens, the reds, the yellows, that rain you track on the app Monday and Tuesday versus Saturday and Sunday, especially Saturday looking a little bit drier out there. Robin, you're very welcome. Robin says Ladies Island, South Carolina is wonderful right now. I'm sure it is. And you know what? I think the low country has the least chance of rain today, and you have the most dry time. Even if you do get a pop-up or two this afternoon, I would still go ahead and classify it a pretty decent day out there in the low country, really much of the area, even though we will see a few showers and thunderstorms out there. Sabrina, when is this expected to cause issues? It's not going to cause issues for us, and I'm not sure if you're referring to the one out near Africa. Again, let's go ahead and go back to the tropical maps here in case people are just joining us. This one will never be an issue for us. Never turn your back on it. We're watching it, but it really looks like a fish storm here. And then we're watching something the Hurricane Center isn't even necessarily eyeing yet. They probably will be here within the next couple days. Tropical wave pushing west-northwest towards the Gulf of Mexico. This unlikely to be an issue for us, but we'll be watching it. So to kind of simplify that, Sabrina, again, not expecting either to play a big role in our local forecast. Hello, Marianne. Thank you for watching. Hope your day is going well. Just scrolling back through, making sure I didn't miss anything. If you're wondering what I'm doing, Sharifa's watching Coffee Bluff. You're very welcome for the updates. And on that note, again, we're watching the tropics. Let's jump back up to today. And a reminder, WTOC.com. I'm actually going to show you some of this stuff here in just a moment. Some ways that you can always stay in touch with us, even if you're away from the TV, even if you can't necessarily watch our 11 a.m. and our 9 p.m. Weather updates. But going back to today, folks wanting to know if it's going to rain today and where the greatest chance is. I show you this, usually every day around this time. 11 o'clock, kicking off now. There's a computer's idea as to where it will be raining and where it will be kind of cloudy through the day. So it may not be exactly correct, but it has a pretty dang close idea, usually, going through the day. By 2, isolated showers and thunderstorms possibly developing. So I think we're going to get through lunchtime. You can have lunch on the patio. You can eat outside on your porch at the beach. It looks pretty good. But shortly thereafter, the cloud's going to grow a little taller. A few popping up, the really puffy clouds. We'll see those. And we will see a few showers and thunderstorms develop. But like we were talking about earlier, notice how the low country, even through 5, mostly dry. I-16 corridor getting close. May hear the thunder, maybe an isolated pop-up, especially there early afternoon. But it's really south of the Altamaha. It's going to see the scattered rain. And I know this particular image, it looks like the rain is widespread and everyone's getting poured on south of the Altamaha. I don't think it's going to be quite that much. This forecast model, this computer, tends to be a little overzealous, a little hyper with the rain chances. So on that note, I do think it has the right idea with the greatest chance being southwest of Savannah. But I don't think it'll be quite this widespread. By 6:30, beginning to push towards 75, Tifton out of our area, maybe some lingering showers, early dinner time period, and then quickly weakening here. This indicates sprinkles at 10:30, but I think the majority of this is pretty much winded down even before 10:30, and this is mainly south of 16, south of the Altamaha River sort of rain chance. Ray says, come on, tropical storm. Suzanne says, whatever, we'll bring a nice storm. Let's see. So, bah humbug, Suzanne. What's with the negativity? No one wants a storm. We can have a nice thunderstorm. No one wants a tropical storm. Eventually, and pretty much anyone along a good portion of the coastline of the United States will see one or a hurricane over the course of many, many years. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, we'll take a good old-fashioned afternoon, just pop-up thunderstorm over a tropical storm. That's how I feel. Cheryl, rain in Hinesville, please. You're close. You're close to the area that's going to see rain today or rain in the area today, but it's not a guarantee. But I will say between now and, let's say, next Thursday, I'm sure you'll pick up something in your area. May not be enough to really put a dent in the brown grass or the needing to be watered sort of plants. Doug once says, can you look back on the activity going on in the Atlantic? We'll do another tropical update. So kind of going through today, south of the Altamaha River, that's where the greatest rain chance will be. Isolated north of there, scattered in that area. So not everyone sees rain today, even southwest, but that's where the greatest chance will be. And the greatest chance is between 2 and about 6 or 7 o'clock this evening. Good morning to you, Cynthia. Suzanne says, not tropical, just a nice cool down this heat. I get you. Megan, Statesboro, Brooklet, I think mostly dry today. If you see a rain shower, it'll be relatively brief, and it's not going to cover everybody up in Bullock County, but your chances there between 2 and 6. Greater to your south, Glenville, and points to the south from there during that same time period. All right, let's go back to the tropics. Again, the real thing to watch, potential tropical cyclone, oops, wrong graphic there, potential tropical cyclone 6. So explaining this once again, because it may be kind of confusing to some, we were referring to this same thing as Invest IDL as early as this morning. The Hurricane Center now does something. They began this a couple hurricane seasons ago, where if there is a system that they know it's going to develop. It's not there yet, but they know it's going to develop. Factor number 1. And factor number 2, it is going to impact land in a pretty short amount of time, a time that's short enough to where they need to kind of hurry up the preparation process. They go ahead and issue a forecast. They go ahead and put out that cone of uncertainty, even though it's not a tropical system yet. And that's when we call it a potential tropical cyclone, and it's a 6th one. Going through this hurricane season. But forecast to be Florence, probably tonight, tomorrow. Moving northwestward, this will be a fish storm, even though it's forecast to become Hurricane Florence late week and early next week. It's in all likelihood going to remain a fish storm. What I mean by that is out in the central Atlantic. Crystal and you have a scattered rain chance, Little Wissey, Metter, Latoya. I think you're mostly dry today. If you get a shower, it'll be late in the day, probably after 4 p.m., and it's mainly going to be to your south. We're talking about down towards Hazelhurst. So I think you're mostly dry in Metter today. So this is system number 1. I know I'm kind of playing catch-up here, both tropics and talking about today's forecast, but talking about tropics right now. That's the update on future Florence, but the technical name, in case you hear it on the news, potential tropical cyclone 6. And going over to something that we're watching a little more closely here in the WTOC Weather Center. This doesn't have any sort of title yet. In fact, the Hurricane Center isn't even really investing a ton of resources into tracking it yet, so it's not an invest, quote-unquote, yet. But some showers and thunderstorms here, northern Caribbean, southwestern Atlantic, moving off to the north and northwest. And this is going to be one to watch a little more closely. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty here. What I can tell you is it's going to continue to kind of peter along, not do anything special here for the next few days. Late weekend, early next week, it's going to enter into an area that is more favorable, more suitable for something tropical to try to spin up. And that's going to be far northern Caribbean, southeastern Gulf, the Bahamas, the Florida Straits here. This area highlighted in red. We're watching early next week. And then especially as it pushes into the Gulf to see if something tropical can kind of pop out of this. And certainly there is that chance. And jumping back over to the players in the game here, the biggest thing you may want to know is where is it going to go? Okay, we know there's a chance that it may develop next week, but where is it going to go? And we don't know for sure yet, but this big old ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic is kind of help steer whatever is out in the ocean as far as storminess is concerned. And this has been a big, bad ridge of high pressure. That's why we've dried out a little bit. We've gotten hotter. And it's kind of nosing on into the southeastern U.S., kind of protecting us to a sense, or to a degree, and it's going to be steering this more northwestward, west-northwest into the Gulf of Mexico. So central Gulf of Mexico, western Gulf of Mexico. If you're cruising, maybe leaving Tampa, St. Petersburg, headed down towards Cancun next week, watch it. You're going to need to keep an eye on this, but locally not expecting any impacts. Jackie, what about Wayne County, Georgia, south of the Altamaha? Scattered rain chance, 2 to 6. Your greatest rain chance, but there is a possibility some of those little showers may linger into the evening. But yeah, plenty of dry time to get outside and do any outdoor activities between now. It's still dry down there now, and maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And a similar story up in Garden City, Brian, but even more isolated up there. Again, mainly south of the Altamaha River today, scattered down there, isolated. That means less rain even further to the north, I-16 and on into the low country. So time now 11:26. Before we wrap it up, let's talk about some ways you can get tropical weather information and forecast information. This is the WTOC weather app. That is a video right there at the top of the app. We put in several of these per day. If the tropics is the weather story, we'll put it in, like meteorologist Jamie Ertl did last night. Put your tropical update in the weather app. And I put a video talking about rain chances in the weather app. And all that information is there. It's a pretty quick watch, good information there. Also, if you want to see any track updates, all you have to do is scroll down a little bit, click on radar. Bottom left, right next to the time, looks like 3 sheets of paper. Click on that. Okay, so I have radar selected, and I have tropical tracks selected. When it's light gray like that, that means it is selected. So zooming on out, you can see potential tropical cyclone 6 is already on here, and you can click on the little icons. And as you zoom down in a little more, you can click on the icon to get a little bit more information about the forecast, what it's expected to be doing as it passes those different colored dots. And you can use this, anywhere in the globe, including the Eastern Pacific, yada, 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 pretty much anywhere, any tropical cyclone that is being tracked. So all of that good info is in there. Be on the lookout there as well. And also, you can go to WTOC.com. In fact, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to pull up. If we come back out to a shot of me here, just bear with me here. I'm going to be doing a little moving and cruising. but I'm going to show you where on the website you can check out the Hurricane Center page that we developed. So stay with me. I'll be right back. I'm just going to route something into the monitor right behind me, and I'm going to show you how on our website we go on and we basically update information almost constantly here, maps, forecasts, and all that good information. So by hovering over the Weather tab and then clicking Hurricane Center, again it's highlighted in red right there, you click on Hurricane Center. It's going to route you to kind of a good database of information. We have the tropical maps up. Sure enough, it has the latest forecast for potential Tropical Cyclone 6. If anything becomes of this guy, just showers and thunderstorms now, that track will show up as well. And in a worst case scenario, if anything were to ever threaten us, whether this year or in the future, we have kind of a forecast laid out for our area, talking about wind probability, max winds that you may see, what waves will be like offshore, what radar is currently looking like, how much rain we may see when it's all said and done. Again, this is all hypothetical. We're under no risk right now. But you can just click on this map, find your community, and of course it's all blank now. But as we got data in, this would update, and you could literally go down to your county seat and see what's going on in your neck of the woods as the storm approaches and possibly impacts our area. Suzanne says, well, I'm stocking up on water and supplies just in case, not having what happened last year. Again, no reason to be worried, but that's something we actually encourage you to do before even June 1st, something that, that makes the process of preparing and going through a tropical system that much easier. Tina says, those storms that originate off of the coast of Africa are scary. They tend to be the big ones, what we call the MDR, Main Development Region, the Cape Verde systems. They tend to be. But not looking like this one is going to be a threat for us, possibly for no significant landmass in general other than the Cape Verde Islands within the next 48 hours. So time now is basically coming up on 11:30. Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley is here talking about radar on the news at noon, today's hour-by-hour forecast, and he'll have more with Jamie Ertl coming up this evening. If anything changes in the tropics, of course, they will update you. You can catch the afternoon and evening newscast, WTOC.com, on TV and in the weather app.